So this is my in-home classroom for 2020-2021. Hi, good morning. Happy Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm going to take this time to go through what we'll be doing on Monday. First thing on Monday, which you will need to be logged in there. Remember that anything that has to do with school, your Chromebook should be up, as there's no reason to log out, right? That's exclusively for the use of your student. Okay, so what you're going to do once you get that, you're going to go into your Canvas. So the first thing you're going to do early on Monday morning before 9 o'clock is you're going to go into Google, and it's going to go into Clever CCSD. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on it, and then what's going to happen, and so we're going to mute yourself, make sure that you come in and it's muted and your camera is off. Now later on, what you're going to do is we'll turn your camera on, because I do ask that every single one of us will have our cameras on. But what I'm going to ask also is your camera is on, right? And here's a strategy. Put it down, please. A strategy, and it's going to say, excuse me. So when I'm pressing the space button, can you pull it back? Space button. I'm muting myself, and if Mrs. Chow says, okay, would you please answer this question or say good morning to Mrs. Chow, all your person has to do is tap the space button and it unmutes, and then it'll turn on the mute again and it'll space out, okay? During phonics, where you see the blue cloud, those are my synchronized live lessons with my students, where I'm with them, I'm doing whole group instruction, face-to-face instruction, or I'm working with them on a project, and I'm there assisting them and facilitating learning. That's what I like to do while they're working on their projects. Without the blue cloud is your asynchronized. That is when the students are on their own. I'm either pulling groups, and some students are on their own, or I'm working one-on-one, and some students are on their own, or they're doing their assignments. So, and that is by themselves. There's my specials and my social studies. If you notice, I have two clouds on math. This is going to be my introductory, where I'm building thinking and learning, right? This is going to be where they're working on their own and practicing the math skills that I have taught them. And then here, I pull them back to do a closing. Okay, it could be like an exit ticket or something like that. But I'm trying to make sense of their learning and having them make sure that they're making sense of their learning. And that's where that goes. Okay, so our math focus for our phonics this week, we're learning just ABCs, getting them familiar with the tech, getting them familiar with navigating Canvas. Our reading is going to look like, we don't really have any sense for reading right now, just getting them familiar, but I am hopeful. And right now we are going to be doing parts of a text, right? Front cover, back cover, who, what, where, why questions, because if I'm reading to them, I will be asking those questions so that they can get used to knowing what questions are and how to answer them. And then here is the extra laptop that I picked up from school yesterday. And all this is going to be my second monitor, so that I can monitor my students as I'm teaching and presenting during my live lessons. My Mac, because I love my Mac. I've been a Mac for the past, I want to say 12 years. So, and this is I think my second or third Mac, but I don't remember. So my phone's always a Samsung, but on my computer, I love Macs. And there's Mrs. Childs, who's, look how colorful she is. And of course, look at that. Gotta have some Disney there, and some Namaste relaxation. Some pillows, because I love imagination. I am a dreamer by nature. So I did phonics, reading, same thing as I do in the classroom. I have my teaching tools for the day, and they are in baskets, which is what I love to do, because it helps to organize my mind and my brain into teaching, and that way I can just work on the objectives, the learning targets, what are we learning, why are we learning it, and how do I know we've learned it. But as long as I have my teaching materials, I can just pull them real quick, and that is how I am organized. Now here's my little corner. My little corner I pulled, these are just my teaching tools. So I have my library, my picture book library. The ones that I'm working on for next week, we are going to be talking about kindness and we are talking about sharing. So more about who I am and what I can be how I can be a good friend is my topic for my reading, and that's how I'm going to be using my front cover, back cover, of course, parts of a book, and also my questions, because even though that is not a standard that we are focusing on, it is always good to ask those questions when we are reading a text to see if the students are engaged and if they are understanding what I am reading. Formative assessment there. Some tools. I have my Lively Letters cards here, my sight words that I grabbed from school, a lot of things that I just got from Target because I didn't want to touch a lot of things that I had at school. I didn't want to dig them out because we just didn't have a lot of time. But some of my just general work tools that I use while teaching, and then my math tools. So when I'm talking about my math lesson, I do have a folder that's ready to go for my tools for next week, but what we're really doing is just counting 1 through 10 and really making sense of those numbers with multiple representations, and that's what I really want to focus on, to make sure that they're just not knowing what the numbers are, what they look like, but I want to make sure that they know what they mean. And I have some namaste stuff, so alright, so this is my classroom for 2020, 2021, half the year or maybe a full year. I'm not sure yet.